Hey, hello, hello, hey. How's everybody doing? Let me see. This is not looking quite right. Let me see if I can get it right. Oh, it's, okay, that's worse. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it's doing this. Anyways, hey, Mike, how are you? Hey, Rebecca, Touch My Yarn, if you're still here. Let's see. Um, on my long rectangular blanket, how many chains did I do to make it? Well, I didn't write it down. But I can tell you I went online somewhere and they said there was a formula for how to figure it out. I can't remember exactly how many stitches it was, and I don't think I wrote it down anywhere. So yeah. Okay, hey GT Junior, thanks for listening in. Please be safe. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. This is crazy. Why is it doing this? Okay. I don't know what's going on with this camera. The angle seems weird to me, but it's okay. Um, so yeah, Rebecca, I don't really remember. I don't remember. Let me look and see if I can find it real quick. It says change in the length of the starting change, a multiple of 3 plus 2. It says subtract the width from the length to determine the length of the starting chain. Yeah, formula to crochet any size rectangle granny. Subtract the width from the length to determine the starting chain. And I knew I wanted it to be 36 by 72, I think. Does that sound right? No, 36 by 80. And it didn't come out that. It came out bigger than that. But I wanted it about 36 by 80. So, inches. So, if you take 36 from 80, you get 44 inches. And I think I just chained until I had that many inches. And then started going around. I think that's how I did it. So I think that was the formula. Now, I can't say that I did exactly 44 or 40 or whatever. Whatever. I just did it. And I said, it's fine if it gets too long. It was pretty long. It was 80 inches long. I don't think I wanted it 80. I think I wanted it. Maybe I did, because 72 is 6 feet. And the person that I met was making it for is about 6 feet tall. So I wanted it a little bit longer than that. So I might have gone for 80. And I think I wanted it 36. Yeah, about a yard. So yeah. Anyways, that's how I did it. That's the formula I used. And so I did however many chains I needed to make it. Yeah. Well, the person I was making it for is 6 feet tall. So she's a very tall girl, and I wanted it to be like a lap blanket, but I wanted it to be long enough for her to cover her toes and then have some room to fold it down. Okay, so I needed it to be at least 6 feet, um, if not more. So, and it ended up being 80 inches, and I, I, I kept going until I um, used up the yarn that I had, and so I used 3 of these Caron 1 pounds. And so when I finished the last one, whichever row finished the last one, that's where I stopped. And then I put a border on with one with this solid color. So yeah, that's how I did it. So I don't have any definite measurements. I did write down somewhere. I don't remember where. On one of the shorts I did somewhere, maybe on Instagram, I did put the measurements, the final measurements on it. I can't remember for sure where I put those. I don't know. You yeah, you good to ask me questions because honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's on Insta. Oh, I don't think it's on there. I don't think it's on there. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's on. It might be on. It might be on YouTube. I don't know where I put it. Honestly, 'cause I was uploading a bunch of stuff that day, and I put it in a different couple of different places, but I don't remember where I put the dimensions of the final dimensions of it. Oh yeah, 80 by 43. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger than yeah. So it was 80 by 43. So it was a little bit wider than I had planned for, and it was a little bit longer. But it turned out perfect for what I wanted it for. So yeah. I probably could count them on this picture because if I zoomed in on it, I probably could count them. I guess I could take a screenshot and count them. Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what a caliking is. I was going to use a 6-ply yarn for a blanket. Yeah. What size is a caliking? I have no idea, but I did make a blanket for my son, which was a king size. And the reason I say it was a king size is because um, same. I was like, I need this to be 6 feet. And so I just kept going. I did it back and forth. I just kept going and going and going and going. Y'all saw that one. That was the green and gold one. Um, and it takes as long as it takes, Mike. It just depends. Yeah. It just depends on how how often you work on it. If I work on it every day, um, it won't take me a month to make it for sure. Um, but if I don't work on it every day, it could take me 3 4 months to work to make it or longer because I'm that person who will put things down and walk away from it and come back 8 years later and finish it. But I didn't work on it for 8 years. um, but yeah, working on it every day, I would say for a king size or a Cali King, ooh, I would give myself at least a month. Um, and that's accounting for, um, working on it no more than 4 hours a day. Because I mean, um, I can't crochet for, I can only crochet for so many hours before I have to take a break or carpal tunnel and all that things. I finished a puff shell blanket that was a California King in 2.5 months. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, it just depends on how much time I work on it on a daily basis. Um, how many days I take off from working on it, and you know that thing, that kind of stuff. But fair enough. But anyways, thanks y'all for coming in. I appreciate y'all being here. I know I haven't been on regularly, um, and I'm not gonna promise that I will be on regularly because I just don't have the energy for it. But when I can, I will. When I can be here, I will be here. Um, and I appreciate you being here. Thanks for all of the replay crew. I have a strong replay crew, and I appreciate y'all coming in and spending time with me. Um, Life has been lifing, as people say. Life has been lifing, and lots of stuff is going on in the world right now, and I prefer not to talk about most of it because most of it just makes me depressed. And you have to do what you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself, um, keep yourself going. And right now, yeah, okay, Mike. Um, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself going, and so that's kind of cool. Rebecca, are you still here? Are you going to be at the Missouri meetup in June in Richland, Missouri? Because if you are, then I'll get to see you. Because I'm going to go there, and if anybody is interested in that, I will put something in the comments here in a little bit about that. I'll put the meetup calendar. Yeah, I'll be there. Um, so good. I'll get to see you there. I haven't decided if I'm flying or driving yet. It's a long drive, so if I drive, I might take a couple of days. Um, do a leisurely drive. I haven't decided yet, but I have to decide soon because if I'm going to fly, I need to go ahead and get a ticket. Uh, and that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, are you familiar with that? I am a big hugger. So yeah, don't tell David Corey though. He's the only person who doesn't get a hug. But but are you familiar with that airport? Um Now I forgot what the name of it is. Ugh. This shows you how my brain works. It doesn't keep anything that I need to keep. Fort Leonard Wood Airport. I live very close to Columbia Airport. It's on Highway 63. Have you heard of when I put in Richland, it had me going to Fort Leonard Wood Airport. And I was like, is that, I looked it up. It says it's a public airport. It's on a military base, but it says it's a public airport. And I was just wondering if you were familiar with it at all. It's a regional airport. Um, but I didn't know if it was better to fly into someplace else other than that. And I'll figure it out. I was just wondering if you were familiar with it. Um, but yeah, I may drive. I really may drive because I do like a road trip. And if I drive, that'll give me an excuse to um, take the scenic route back home. um, and so yeah, and visit some places that I haven't visited in a while. It just depends on what else I've got on Fort Leonard Wood. Yeah, yeah, okay. I didn't when I saw it, I was like, are you sure that I can go there? But that's what when I put that in, that's what it had me going there. I think it's a American hub, American Airlines hub. So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I was thinking about flying into there and renting a car. Um but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'll talk to some of the other people who are going and see what they're gonna do. Because there's a few of us gonna be there, and I'm excited for it. I'm totally excited for it. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do any other meetups this year. Honestly, my year has gotten off to quite a busy start, and I'm already tired. It's like I haven't even been anywhere. Well, I've had a couple small trips, but I haven't done any major trips since December, and it's like I'm already tired. But yeah, so yeah, Columbia Airport. That's on Highway 63. Okay, I don't know how far Columbia is away from Richland. Um, but I mean, I can figure that out too. Like I can figure that out too. I've been doing a lot of searching here and there for different things lately. And yeah, I might be yeah. Oh, about an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And hold on. And I guess they said Fort Leonard Wood is about 26 minutes away. I'm not. Anyways. Hey Wanda, how are you? I don't know, Rebecca, but I think I have your email. I think I have your, let me see. I don't know. You asking me questions. I do not have your phone number in my contacts, but I might have it in my email. Hold on. Hmm, that's interesting. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't have it. I'll give you an email and my phone number will be in there. Okay, cool. Yeah, my email is on it's floating across the bottom. But it's just frhumphreycreates at gmail.com. But yeah, it's going across the bottom. But yeah, email me and I'll text you back, let you know I have it. Um but yeah, that'd be cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun trip, and I get to meet some people that I haven't met before, see some people that I have met before and see them again. So that'll be kind of cool. And visit a place that I've never been. I've been to Missouri before, but I've never been to Richland, Missouri. So that'll be cool. Well, I think, yeah. Yeah, I've been to Missouri. I think I've been to Missouri. Yeah. Yeah, I have. I've been to Missouri. We went to that. Actually, I'm not sure. What's the name of that city? Kansas City. It's on the state line. There's a haunted, quote unquote, haunted motel there. I forget what the name of the place is. We stayed there, and so we had a girls trip and we stayed there. It was a friend of mine's birthday, and her husband threw her a surprise birthday party with 10 of her favorite people. And we met at the hotel. He was like, let's go to the hotel for the weekend. And so she thought that she was having a weekend with away from the kids with her husband. And when she gets there, we're all there, and her husband's like, see ya. And so it was a girls' weekend there. So it was really nice. I can't remember what the name of the place is. But it's funny because after we stayed there is when I saw the show. They had a show about the ghost in that place. And I was like, yeah, they didn't tell us it was supposed to be haunted. And honestly, it didn't seem haunted to me. It's a really nice place. It's older construction. Um, it has this really cool pool in the basement of it, underneath. It was really cool. It's kind of like I don't even know what you would call it. Almost like a lazy river, but it's not. It's really just a pool. But it was really cool. I forget the name of that place. If I can think of it, I'll tell you what it is. But yeah, but it was in Kansas City, and I'm not sure which side of the line it was on. We were on both sides, but she lives in Missouri, so maybe it was on the Missouri side. I don't know. Check out TT's Urban Pantry. She's one of my members. So a shout out to her and appreciate her for the membership. And TT's got a lot of things going on. So if you haven't been over to her channel, go check it out. If you haven't been to her webpage, check that out. She has lots of things for sale over there, and there is good stuff. It's really good stuff. And I say that because I've tried most of it. And in fact, it's one of her teas, her breathe better tea. I've been drinking that every day because y'all, spring is springing. Spring is absolutely springing. Um, and now I'm starting to cough, but that's something totally different. um, the I was out today. I don't go out much, but I was out today and it was warm. I was like, what? It is very warm. Okay. GT Junior, you leave Nightbot alone. Weather for Anchorage. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and the wind is blowing from the northeast at 5 miles per hour. The current humidity is 49%. Wow. GT Junior, my name is Nightbot, BOT. Come correct, please and thank you, Nightbot said. Nightbot is working tonight, so don't be messing around. But anyways, I was gonna say it was warm here today. Things are blooming. The pears, breadfruit pear, and all of the wild pears are in full bloom now, and a bunch of the wild cherries are in bloom as well. So everything's white. You know, if you look around, you see the white blooms everywhere. Redbud with the purple blooms on it. It's real pretty right now. It's in bloom. My neighbor used to have one back there, but when they sold the house, they cleared out all of that, and so they cut it down. I was like, "Don't cut the redbud." But anyways, but the redbud's in bloom. What else did I see today? Oh, the maples. The maple putting their seeds out. The red maple putting their seeds out. They'll be helicoptering. They'll be spinning pretty soon. Here, the elm buds are swollen. The maple buds are swollen. It's spring is springing. The daffodils are just about done. The tulips are out, looking real pretty around town. Hummingbirds should be coming through, migrating through here pretty soon. So if you're in this area, yeah, if you're in the 8B area, probably in the South, you probably need to start getting your feeders ready. And speaking of which, Um, Hummingbird feeders. 1/4 cup of sugar to 1 cup of water. 1/4 cup of sugar to 1 cup of water. That's 1 to 4 ratio. Um, and I usually boil the water and dissolve the sugar, and I keep it in the refrigerator. I only put the feeder about 1/4 of the way full because you're supposed to place it every 2 to 3 days so it doesn't grow mold or ferment and make the birds sick. Um, no, no dye is necessary. You don't need to put any dye in it. Weather for Hallsville. Conditions are cloudy with a temperature of 37 degrees Fahrenheit, and the wind is blowing from the east at 8 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 97%. Wow, y'all. It's springtime here. It had to be in the 70s today. Let's see what it's looking like now. I don't know what the high temperature was today. Oh, no, it was 81. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I knew it was hot. I didn't think it was in the 80s, but yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, the high was 81 today. It was hot. Weather for Montgomery. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the east at 3 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 60%. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. But yeah, the high was 81 today. And I was out. When I was out, it was that warm. It was so funny. I walked into the bank and I was like, whew, it was winter last week. And the lady was like, I know. I said, I ain't mad at it, but yeah, crazy. Weather for Minneapolis. Conditions are cloudy with a temperature of 35 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the southeast at 8 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 82%. Excuse me. I was burning some sweetgrass earlier, and I'm like, the sweetgrass put me to sleep. Normally it doesn't, but I'm like, anyways, um, I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay up. I'm trying so hard to get my sleep schedule back, and I've been saying this for years. As probably as long as I've been going live, I've been saying that my sleep schedule is really wacky, and I try. I really do try to sleep at night and be awake during the day, but it's difficult. It really is difficult. Most nights I don't go to sleep. Most days I don't go to sleep until it's morning. And then I'm sleeping a lot of the day. And I really don't want to do that. I really do want to sleep at night and be up during the day because especially when I have things coming up. Like I have things coming up and I know like I'm gonna have to drive or something like that. And it's like, come on now. Come on, we got to get this together. Get this together. And, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So, but yeah, spring is happening here. We're going to get another frost. It won't be a hard frost. It'll be one of those where it'll just dip down one day, one night, or maybe two at the most. Um, and then it'll be warm again. But we'll get some more frost, and it'll do some damage. Something will be blooming, and those blooms will get damaged by it. It happens every year. We call it. Let's see. When I lived in the mountains, they called it dogwood winter, blackberry winter. There was a third one. Maybe it was maybe it was strawberry winter, dogwood winter, and blackberry winter. I can't remember. There was three of them. But those would be the things that were in bloom, would be in bloom when the cold came, and right as rain, you know, the dogwoods would be out in full bloom, and boom, we get a cold snap, and then the blackberries would be out in full bloom, and boom, we get a cold snap, and it's like, yeah, every year. And we've had one year we got one over in May. Um, and we had a lot of um, kill in oak trees that year. A lot of them got cold damage, and significant growth, um, a significant slowdown in their growth rates for that year. So yeah, it was -10 last night and -16 the night before. It's been crazy cold. Woo. So, I live in the South for a reason. Definitely live in the South for a reason. Y'all, so dope. So that's so good. I went to Slim Chickens for the first time today. We've had it for a while. I've just never been there before. Um, but I went there. I really went to see what they had. And since I live in the South, and it's a Southern thing to do, I got the sweet tea, and it wasn't bad. The sweet tea is not bad. I'm not gonna say it's good. It's not bad. It's not bad. It could be bad. Sweet tea is either okay or bad or not bad to me. It's never really good. But yeah, I got the sweet tea, but I didn't drink it. I tasted it and I was like, "Oh, it tastes pretty good." Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, "But I'm gonna put some lemon in it." And so I brought it on home and I put some lemon in it. Oh my God, I love lemon tea. I love lemon tea, and it's the best. It's the best. And I haven't had it in a long time because I'm so sensitive to caffeine that I normally just don't drink anything with caffeine in it. I don't drink tea. I don't drink Coke, Mountain Dew, anything that has caffeine in it. I won't drink it. I'll drink herbal teas, but no caffeine for me. No coffee, no tea. It's rare when I'll get the either of those because I'm just super sensitive to caffeine. Yes, GT Junior, I do grow roselle, and I need to get some started, like yesterday. I really need to get something started, but I've been procrastinating. I didn't do WIG this year, which y'all know I have done it every year. I've done it every single year you've had it until this year. This year I didn't do it. And Mike said it wasn't too late, but really, it's not winter anymore. So I guess it's still winter. Technically, it's winter until the 20th, 21st of March. So technically, it's still winter. But yeah. What I have found with Roselle is that it needs heat to start. So if you haven't germinated yours yet, use a heat mat when you germinate it, or find a good warm spot for it. You've got it in a hydroponic unit and it's been 2 days. Did it come up? If it didn't come up, I would say make sure that the lights are down, like on top of it, so that it has some heat. Um, yeah. Um, because I've found that sometimes I've had a problem with it um, not germinating, and I put it in my garage because during the day the temperature gets pretty warm in there, and that was what it took for mine to get going. I don't have a heat mat, and so yeah, that part. It can take a little. It can take a little while. Yeah, it can take a little while. Yeah, put it on top of the light because it can take. For me, it can take a little while for it to go. It's not one of those, like a lot of the stuff you put in a hydroponic unit and it germinates overnight, or it germinates like in 2 or 3 days, everything is up. Roselle is not one of those. Roselle is one that takes a little, can take a week or so to germinate or longer. So don't give up on it. Give it some heat and it'll probably be fine. But yeah, it's definitely needs heat, and also it's light sensitive. So it won't bloom until the daylight gets to be a certain length. And so I don't know how you're going to trick it into blooming in Alaska because your days get really long. And I don't know if you'll need to bring it in or what. You need to look it up, GT Junior, and figure out what the light requirements are because it does have a, like, it goes all summer until all of a sudden the light hits a certain day length, gets a certain time, and then boom, it blooms just like that. I just dropped more seeds. Yeah. Yeah. My roselle, uh-oh. Something happened just now and that's very weird. Anyway, last year my roselle didn't bloom until late. And so when we got our first frost, I hadn't gotten any fruit. Well, I had like six. It was, the blooms were all over it, but it hadn't really produced the fruit yet. So, yeah. And then the frost killed it. It's very cold sensitive. I should have covered it, but I didn't. And it was in ground. If it had been in a pot, I would have brought it in the house or in the garage anyway. Because that was one of those one night things where, it just got down to 32 one night. And then it was, warm again for the next 3 weeks. And so I would have gotten, you know, a full harvest if I had um, been able to bring it in the house or to cover it um, with a frost blanket or something like that. But yeah, but I did get a late start on it last year, so yeah, so it just didn't have enough time to be ready to produce. So there's that. But I'm gonna try again this year. I've got more seeds, and I'm gonna try again this year because I'm running out. The funny thing is, I have dehydrated sorrel from years like not last year, but the year before. I've got dehydrated sorrel, but I'm running out. So I definitely need to grow some more this year, and so I will. At least I plan to. I had empty sour cream tub from Saturday's nachos. Okay, cool. I've got to get some seeds started too. I don't know what I'm waiting on. I do know what I'm waiting on. Yeah, I filled hydroponic solution, cut a hole, drop basket and sponge, and drop mint seeds. Oh, cool. I gotta do better. Y'all inspire me. That's why I need to come on here. I need to come on here all the time because when I come on here and talk to y'all, I get inspired to do better. Because honestly, I'm just trifling. I am just trifling. Like I pulled out the containers that I'm gonna to start seed in, and they're sitting there. I pulled them out, and they're just sitting there, and there's nothing in them, but they're sitting there. And all I need to do is put the peat pods in there and put some water in it and drop some seeds. That simple. And the same thing with my hydroponic unit. Y'all can call me crazy. Call me crazy. I um I have a countertop water filtration system um, because I decided that I was going to stop buying bottled water. And the water, my tap water it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't like the way it tastes. And so I was buying gallons of bottled water. I was buying the big gallon jugs of bottled water. So I have a countertop reverse osmosis water filtering unit, and it was time to change the filters. Now the filters last like almost a year. Actually, they last longer than that. They last until the water will start tasting bad or it starts testing bad, and then you change the filters. So it's time to change the filters out. And when you change the filters, you have to flush the system. And so I said, well, after I flush the system, I'm going to go ahead and filter the water for my hydroponic units. It's like, why buy water for the hydroponic unit when I've got a filter on the countertop So let's filter it and fill up these jugs so I'll have enough water for my units. And so I was filling them, filling them, filling them. And then I was like, oops, I don't have another jug. So let me just go and pour this water in there. So I went and I poured that water in the unit. And then I turned the light off and closed the door and walked away. Now, why didn't I go ahead and put the sponges in there and put the seeds in there? Well, because I wasn't filming. That's trifling. See, I can't let filming keep me from growing food. Just start a seed or two this week, and that doesn't take much effort. Okay, all right. And just do that every week until you're motivated to show how great Alabama grows food. Well, see, this is what I did though, GT Junior. GT, okay, Mike says exactly. Okay, right. Start. Walk away till you see growing stuff. Okay. Here's the deal. Last year, when I got my green stalks, guess what I planted? Perennials. So even though I haven't dropped a seed, I got stuff growing. You can start filming when stuff is growing. That's true. That is true. Because if I keep waiting to do and drop a seed till I can film, then yeah. And here's the deal. My tripod is set up in front. All I got to do is walk in there with my phone and put it in there and press record. It's all set up and ready to go. Yes, I know. I'm trifling. Yes, I know. But yeah, last year when I set up my green stalks, I planted perennials. And so I have stuff growing. I've got herbs growing out there that made it through the winter and made it through me not watering them in the summertime and made it through me not watering them all winter long. But I've got stuff growing out there that I can harvest and add to my herbs. So yeah. And I went outside to check my my fruit from last year. You know, I bought blueberries and blackberries last year, and I got behind on watering them in the summer, and I thought they were all dead. Well, at least 2 of the blueberries are still alive. Yes. So I'm excited about that. I said I'm not going to do nothing to them until next spring, and we'll see if anything comes out. But at least 2 of the blueberries are still alive. I ordered more because why not? So I have blueberries and blackberries on the way. I don't know what's wrong with me. These are going in the ground. I'm not going to even put them in containers. The blueberry that I have in a container that's doing well, I'm going to put it into a 10-gallon bucket. I think it's in a 5-gallon now, but I bought 10-gallon buckets to plant them last year, so I'm gonna put it in a 10-gallon bucket. And I'm gonna find a good spot for it. I don't like where it is. The spot that it's in is too hot for it, but yeah, that part. And yeah, and so I got work to do. But yeah, but yeah, 2 of the blueberries are still alive, and maybe more. I don't know because I said I'm not doing anything to it. So I went over and I looked at it and I made sure that, it wasn't sitting in water, and I made sure that I pulled out the weeds that were growing in it. So all of that. The blackberries, I'm not sure about them yet. Hey, Lisa, thanks for coming in. And I wanted to tell you I'm proud of my son. I was talking to my son the other day, and he's just graduated from college. He's looking for a job, and a real job. He's got, a little job, but he's looking for a real job and trying to get things going. I said, son, why don't you open you a little brokerage account and figure out how that works? Because he was saying, Mama, I'm so bored. And I'm like, yeah. And he says, well, I have an account with some company. He named the company. I was like, oh, that's good. It was a reliable, company. I said, that's good. They probably have a research or resources thing on the website that you can go and look up and see what's what. I said, go look at an index fund. That boy got on that website. He's like, Mom, I just put a little bit of money in there, and I'm gonna add some money to it. It's like I throw away more money than this every week, so I can just add a little bit of money to it every week. And I was like, what? Look at you. So I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him because he's young, and young people usually think that they have all the time in the world, but they don't realize the sooner you get into it, the better. Because if you, I was telling him career wise, when you get an offer of a job, and your company is offering you matching, a 401k, and they're matching you whatever for so much, put some in there. Even if it's not a lot, put 1%, 2%. Every time you get a raise, put some more in there because it lowers your tax bracket. So a lot of times you don't even feel it because it's before tax money. It lowers your tax bracket, and so you actually may break even on what your bring home pay is when you put that money in there. And if you the way they explained it to us when I was coming up, and this is 100 years ago, but if you put in, let's say, if you put in 10% the first 10 years of your career, you'll have way more money than if you put in 10% the last 10 years of your career. You'll have more money to retire on just because of compounding. And it's like, yeah, it's harder to put in when you're at that point early in your career, but actually it's not because you're poor. You're already poor. You're already used to not having money. And so you go ahead and put it in before you get used to bringing home the money, and then it becomes a habit, and you've already learned. Um, yeah, you've already learned how to invest your money. And so yeah, so I told him, go in there and look and do your research. And we talked about, yeah, we did talk about risk. I was telling him, I will talk to you all later. The magnesium is starting to work. Okay, cool. Yeah, magnesium is your friend. But yeah, I talked to him about looking at the funds, and I was telling him how I was very conservative at the beginning of my year until my fund got to a certain amount, and then what I did is um, I switched my percentages at that point. I had like a solid base that I left in conservative, but then I start putting like 80% of everything I put in. I put it in, you know, um, one that had more risk in it because I wanted it to grow faster. And it's like I have a good base here. If I lose everything, I still have money to go with. But anyways, we talked about that, and so now when we talk, I'm like, well, how's your fun doing? It's like, so, but it's interesting. It is interesting, and it's good. I'm really proud of him. Y'all see how proud I am. I'm very proud of him that he's at least forward thinking. With that. So yeah. I wish I was good at explaining all of this stuff. I'm not. Because a lot of it just makes sense to me, and I don't really sometimes I don't even understand why it makes sense. That's how I've always been that way with math. I never didn't really understand how it worked, but I just knew that it worked, and I was able to do it. And so I can't explain it. I can't explain it to anybody. It's like you just do this, 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 and this, and then you're done. And they're like, what? Yeah, and I can't explain it. I wish I was better at explaining it. But that's okay because there's lots of resources out there, and some people are good at explaining it. But yeah. Mm-mm. My phone just did something. Oh, okay. Got it. That was Rebecca. Got it, Rebecca, if you're still listening. I'll text you back. But yeah, like at a nature, you should teach forestry classes, like at a nature center. Um, yeah, that was a different lifetime, Mike. I actually, when I was working, I I did it was an annual forestry day that we did with local forestry high schools, or it was either forestry high schools or it was 4-H forestry groups, and we would have an annual forestry day, and I would teach. um Usually it was in April, around Earth Day, and I would teach at that every year, um, every single year. And I did it in South Carolina, and I've did it here in Montgomery as well. Um, and I enjoyed it. Actually, I enjoyed it quite a bit. We did orienteering. We did dendrology, plant identification. Um, those were the two. One of the two of the ones that I taught. There was another one. Measurements. We did forest measurements. uh, and I'm trying to think of what some of the others we did. We also had like a wildlife one that we did. Um, there was Project Learning Tree was one of the things we would do with the younger students. We do Project Learning Tree with the younger students, and so that was really fun. Um, as well. And I did that, and I really enjoyed it. But that was another lifetime. So yeah, I'm not doing that. I thought about it. I really have thought about it. And if the local school, high school or middle school, was interesting, that I would do it. I also did continued education for science teachers when I was working as well, because I was for as long as I was working, I was a member of the Society of American Foresters, which is a professional society for forestry, and um, and so as part of that, I would do continuing education for teachers in the science field, and that was always nice. I also taught policy over at Tuskegee University to the forestry students over there. I was a guest speaker. Um, I wasn't on staff there, but I would go in as a guest speaker. One of my friends works over there in the forestry department, and he would have me come in every year as a guest speaker, and that was kind of cool because one of my students who took the policy class um, actually ended up working um, for the same agency. He came in the same kind of job that I have, and he was like, "I was so impressed with you when you came to the class that I really wanted to do that." And he was good. It was so funny. He was so good when he got the job. I was like calling up the people who were doing the hiring. I'm like, "Get him, get him. He's really good. He's really sharp." Da 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 da. But anyway, when was my last nature bath? Now, Mike, we don't talk about that because people have cameras now. I can't go outside and take my nature bath like I used to because everybody got cameras on their back. That part. But there is a full moon coming up, and there's a eclipse. So I'm just saying, be ready for the full moon. You might want to take that moon bath. I didn't say nothing about naked. Where did you get that from? Come on, Mike. What happens? It's like we devolve so quickly, so quickly. I said nothing about naked, nothing at all. All I said was people have cameras, right? And in the daytime, they have what are those things called? I forget what they're called. What are those things called? Why? I just had a brain fart because I cannot remember the name. Drones. That's the thing. In the daytime, they have drones. Oh, but yeah, that part. Um, every time I see a drone in my backyard, I'm like, "Psst," and they go away. They see me and they go away. It's like, yeah, you coming down. Do not fly a drone over my house, okay? Get you some nature time. For me, it's the squirrel hangout. I need to befriend the squirrels because the population is getting crazy. Squirrels and rabbits. We have so many squirrels and rabbits in this neighborhood. And the funny thing about it is I don't see them in my backyard very much. On occasion, but not a lot. But in the front, all the time. I get it, Mike. I really do get it. And unfortunately, the state bird of the South is alive and well. You know, what do they call them? I forget what they call them. Mosquitoes. Yeah, those. So yeah. No, no worries though, because I have my Miss V's repellent. It works, and I've got well several repellents that work. But yeah, those things you got to be careful when you go outside these days. You just have to be careful because they're out to get you. I'm just saying they're out to get you. There's a rabbit at your door right now. Yeah, yeah, we do have a lot of rabbits here. I used to have Easter bunny wooden cutouts, yard bunnies, and it's the funny thing about them is it's not something that I would ever have wanted, but where I lived in South Carolina, my neighbor, um, the first year when we moved there, my neighbor came by and said, if you put them out every year, I'll make some of these bunnies for your yard. All of my neighbors had them. You drive down our street, all the neighbors had these bunnies out. My house was the only house that didn't have them out. And she came over, she says, if you'll put them out every year, I'll make some bunnies for you. And I was like, okay, sure. And so she made the bunnies and we put them out under the trees in the yard. And I still have them. I put them out here a couple of times, but and we've been here a long time. But they're so cute. They are all so cute. They have, you know, um, they're hand painted. They're just cutouts, little shapes of bunnies. There's some of them are upright and some of them are sitting sideways, and their little ears are some of them are up and some of them are flopped down, and their little eyes they're pink, they're green and blue and brown, all different color eyes and little pink. Um, the insides of the ears are a little pink or whatever. They're just really cute. And it's for Easter season. Um, but it's like, why would I put out fake wooden bunnies when I have so many real ones? I'm thinking of getting me a sauna. What y'all thoughts on them? Like a big one or a portable one or a personal one? What kind? A sauna. Um, what's his name has one. He likes it. What's his name? Jay Jordan. Jay Jordan here on YouTube. He has a personal sauna. Um, that's like a tent that you keep in your house and you can zip yourself up in it. He has one and he likes it a lot. I've never thought of having one. Um, but I do like them. I think I'm afraid of I think I'm afraid of leakage. But I don't even know that that's a problem. You know how you can talk yourself out of something without even really knowing anything about it? That's me when it comes to that. I thought, no, I don't think that would be, I think that is a potential problem. So yeah, but I like the idea of it. In fact, um, I think a lot of people, I always thought that people who lived in cold climates have saunas, or actually, how do they say it? They say sauna. I just like heat, not for me. Oh, a tent one. Yeah. Check out Jay Jordan's channel if you haven't checked it out. He's got one and he likes it. The Jay Jordan. The Jay Jordan. Is his channel name. But yeah. Um, but yeah, I like I do like them. In fact, the last cruise we went on, I did the thermal room, the thermal spa, and they had the dry heat room, the moist heat room, and then they had the heated stone beds. I did them all. I did them all. It was really nice. I enjoyed it. And if I go on another cruise, I'm gonna do that, the thermal spa again. Yes, I am, because it was really nice. Actually, I did it. I'm thinking, did I do it on the last two cruises? I might have did it on the Alaska cruise too. I can't remember those. I feel like those temperatures in the sauna help remove toxins. I don't know if they do or not, but it just feels good. It feels really good. So, but yeah, I don't like cold. I like hot, and so yeah. Have you ever? Maybe not. Maybe this is not a place for it. But anyways, I did. Speaking of sauna. I can't say the word because I want to say sauna, but I think it's pronounced sauna. Um, I went to a sweat lodge once. That was really cool. It was intense. It was really intense. But I shouldn't say it was really cool. It was really hot. That was really, really hot. But it was intense. It was very intense. Would do it again. But you got to be really careful with those. You got to definitely be with somebody who knows what they're doing, because those can be dangerous. And I am getting older now, so I have to consider. Still would do it again. It was so worth it. So worth it. Minnesota say sauna, sauna, sauna. But some people say sauna, sauna. I say sauna, but I don't know what the correct pronunciation of it is. Um, it's the place. Do you have a good place for it, GT Junior? Do you have a good place to put it? I think now, the Jay Jordan, I think he just has his like in his workout room, wherever his workout room is, whatever that room is in his house. But if you have a good place for it, you say saw, not sow. Yeah. Have extra rooms. Yeah. If you got a good place for it, and can set it up where you don't have to worry about leaks or anything like that, no water damage, then somebody else, maybe K Renee. Does K Renee have one too? There's somebody else who has one too. I can't remember who else, but I know the Jay Jordan has one, and there's somebody else who has one. So yeah, that part. So I think it could be nice, especially if you don't like coal. My backyard needs mowing. I just need to call the guy. I have a guy. Actually, it's a crew that mow. My front yard doesn't need mowing yet, but my backyard does. And usually I don't call them until both the front and the back need mowing. Usually I will mow the back myself. I have a mower and I have a weed eater and all of that stuff. Um, and so I usually take care of the back myself. And I will get the weed eater out and take care of around the garden areas and on all of that because I like to do that myself because I don't want my trees damaged. And so I usually will keep those cleared myself and keep the mulch around them myself so they don't get too close and don't run into it and don't cut it or anything. I just don't want my trees damaged. I've got too much invested in them. Um, but it's like, man, I can't even walk out in my yard. This grass is so high. And it's getting warm, so I have to be able to see my feet. So yeah, it's definitely time to get that done. What the heck's going on here? Oh, it's right there. Come on, this is not good. How did I mess that up? I think that's right. I really think I messed up here. I don't know how I did it. How did I mess that up? How did I mess that up? At the base of that one. At the base of that one. 1, 2, 3. At the base. 1, 2, 3. Base. Not in the side of that one. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Girl, why two froze because stuck at, oh, sorry. I hate it when this happens. Okay. So, it's wrong. How is that? It should be there. So, I don't know what the heck. I think I changed color. I did a wrong color change. I did a color change wrong. And now I don't know. So it goes in that one. Okay. Oh well. Anyways, freezes my chat too. Oh. Oh, it's not me. It's YouTube. Okay. Well, I guess I could turn the ads off. Um, and don't worry about it because for real, uh, I don't know that the ads are doing any good. Anyways, it's not me. But I could turn the ads off. Um, I have it set. I think it's set on automatic. I don't know what it's set on. I don't look at it. I just go in and I set up the live stream, and I come in here and I do the live. That's what I do. But I think the ads are set up like minimal or something. I need to go in and check it or something. I don't know what it is. Um, um, there was something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, um, life. Did we talk about crocheting? We did talk about crocheting a little bit at the beginning with Rebecca. I've been crocheting. I've been working on this blanket forever. You guys remember it? It's the one, the 3D illusion blanket. Um, I'm almost done. Not quite, almost done. Um, I have, I think, two two more panels to do the border on, and then we can two more panels to put the border on, and then I can sew them together, and then I'll be done with this one, and I'll be so glad to uh, be done with it. It's like how we know really if our Humphrey wasn't replaced with AI. Can AI do this? I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. I'm thinking of doing a challenge to eat what you harvest for 10 or 30 days. Oh, I would be losing weight for real because I will grow stuff in a minute. Harvesting stuff, I harvest about a portion of what I grow. I don't harvest everything that I grow, and I eat a portion of what I harvest. That part. But hey, I do have enough sweet potatoes from last year's harvest to eat sweet potatoes for 10 days. So there's that. Like Gigi says, after I harvest potatoes, I do have enough onions and garlic to eat garlics and onions for quite a few days of what I harvested. Actually, I do have some. I have some peas from last year in the freezer. Um, I'm trying to think. That's about it that I have. I mean, I do have some herbs in there. I have plenty of herbs that I, could use in cooking something else. So, yeah, plenty of herbs. But yeah, and I need to plant some potatoes. I've got some potatoes um, in the kitchen that are trying to sprout. I need to go ahead and put them in a container um, and do that. Hey, VMROG, how you be? I got squash, sweet potatoes, onion, garlic, herbs. Oh yeah, and I got some squash in the freezer too. I forgot about that. It's good to see you. You changed your name, but I know who you are. I got squashes, sweet potatoes, onion, garlic, herbs. I be fine. You be fine. Good. We got some good news. We got some good news. I'll have to send you a message. Some good news. You know anybody who lives in Dallas Fort Worth area? Anybody? Anybody? Know anybody who lives in the Dallas Fort Worth area? Oh, celery. I need to do some celery in my hydroponics lot because I did it last year and it didn't get big, but it was always there. And so I always had celery on hand. That was nice. Oh, okay. Well, you might after May know somebody who lives in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And it's not going to be me, but I'll send you a message about that. David Corey's is in that area. I don't know. I don't know. I think that may be the only person I know who's in that area. I forgot the name of it. Oh my word. That didn't help. I forgot. Hang on a second, y'all. I forgot what I was looking for. Oh, yeah, that part. How you know it was Verdi? Might be knowing stuff. But yeah, what else? Yes, definitely growing Georgia candy roaster. Mike says, I know your sister. You don't know nothing. You just think you know stuff. But yeah, I sent you a text. Um, but yeah, we're excited about that. The universe conspires in your favor. I saw a person on YouTube. Was it YouTube? They did not have a channel, but they commented on something. Who had your former married name from when you were very young. And I went, there's no way there's another Verdi out here with that same name. But maybe there is. 5 candy roasters will feed you over. Yes, 5 candy roasters. Actually, 2 plants will feed you over the winter. If you plant 5, you'll have more than you can eat. If you plant 2, you might have more than you can eat. For real. That's a ton of food. And they're good. I like them. Mine didn't do anything last year, but I didn't try real hard. I really didn't try real hard. I got to try better this year. I've got some things going on in my garden that I just really need to take care of. For one, I've got blackberries growing in there. I got to get them out. And the blackberries, I don't know if you guys know, but the wild blackberries, they come up from the root. So the blackberry is like a good 6 feet away. The big one, it's like a good 6 feet away, but it goes under the ground and it comes up and it came up in my garden bed. Okay, that means the entire garden bed has got blackberry roots under it. And I don't really know how to get rid of them. I mean, yeah, other than, spray it with something. But if you spray it with something and then your whole garden bed is sprayed with something. And so there's that. Um, and I got to get rid of it. I got to figure out how to get rid of it. I got to figure out what I'm going to spray it with or what, I don't know what. Um, but yeah, got to figure that out. Um, and so there's that. And then the other thing is my garden bed is getting old. The bed itself is getting old. The wood is fine, but it's fine. But I just need to kind of refurbish everything. I remember blackberries in Georgia, good time. Yeah, the thing about it is the blackberries it produces every year. But it's growing in my gardenia tree. So my gardenia's got a big old giant blackberry cane growing up in that, and then it sends roots out, and they pop up in my garden bed, and it's like, how do I get rid of it? How do I control that? And I mean, honestly, I want to totally disassemble the bed and move it someplace else. Because it will take over. At one time, it did take over. At one time, I wasn't gardening for a few years, and when I came back, it was full of blackberry vines, and I sprayed it. I just sprayed it with, I don't know, something. I don't remember what it was, but I sprayed the whole thing, and because I tried, you cannot cut it out because it just resprouts, and so I sprayed it. But that meant, letting the whole bed go a year with nothing in it, and so I sprayed it, um, let it go for the next season with nothing in it, and then put fresh soil and stuff, and it covered it up, da 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 da, until we got it out. But now it's back again. So I gotta, yeah. And so every year I spend time um, pulling up blackberry vines, and I'm allergic to them. That's the other thing. I'm kind of allergic to them. If I get scratched by a blackberry vine, I get a rash. So that means I have to have, super long sleeves and thick sleeves on when I'm working around it. What I usually do is cut it down to the ground level, get that out of the way, and then put gloves on and pull it up by the roots because the roots don't have thorns. Mm. But I did buy some thorn. I hope I bought thornlets. I bought some more blackberries. Like, why am I buying blackberries when I have the wild ones growing? Because I want more. I want more. Because I'm greedy like that. I'm not greedy like that. I hope my raspberries go a little crazy. I remember picking blackberries. Yeah, I used to pick blackberries as a kid. Um, right down the street from our house, there was a big old bramble. I guess you would call it a blackberry bramble. It was a big old bunch of them. And I would go and I would pick and eat and pick and eat. And I would come back and I would be all cut up on my arms. All cut up. And some on my legs too, because yeah. And and then I would break out and I'd have a rash. And my mom would be so upset with me. It's like, why you do this to yourself? Why? Because they're good. And I mean, I might would bring some home, but I was just in it for the eating. That part. GT Junior. I could have swore. It's not about not putting your channel out. I have to check it out. Oh, it is. Yeah. I'm like, because I had seen TT's a couple of times, but I hadn't seen yours. But it is. I was like, Mike, GT Junior is a member too. So Nightbot needs to do his work now, but he's putting it out. Nightbot's doing his job. But yeah, I love blackberries. Membership has its privileges. If you remember Mike and I don't know it, then yeah. But Mike, you should be out there too. And all you got to do is put in what you call it? Um drop. Is it hashtag drop? I don't know. Hashtag drop if you want to put your um channel in the comments in the chat. Hashtag drop. Yes, Mike is a mod and he's the best mod ever. Actually, Mike is the only mod on my channel, and I appreciate your modding. Is that a word? Your moddingness. Don't make up words. Don't make up words. But yes, Mike, put in hashtag drop, please, so people can get your channel as well. Nightbot drops the channels of all the members. We only have 2 members. Well, it might be 3. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 2. But yeah, Nightbot will drop the channel for the members. But if anybody else wants to drop your channel, all you have to do is put in hashtag drop and it will drop your channel. And I don't mind. In fact, I like it. I like people dropping their channels. I like people going over and checking out people's channels because that's how we learn stuff. And there's lots of stuff to be learned. Speaking of learning stuff, did y'all see Rose video that she dropped yesterday? I'm asking because she mentioned me. But she always has good information in her videos. Her videos are slam full of information. Every time I watch her videos, I learn something new. She dropped a couple of sources for tomatoes and tomatoes I never heard of. She was talking about this whole experimental thing they got going on to create new varieties, the perennial kale they were working on, and a combination collard they were working on, and yeah, lots of information over there. So if you didn't see it, go check out You Grow Row. Check out her latest video. It was like a mail call video, but it was way more information. No, there's a it was longer. Yeah, a mail seed haul video, but it was more than that. It was more than that. It was more information. The different varieties. She got somebody sent her some tomato seeds, and the varieties of tomatoes that she got, I was like, it makes me want to grow tomatoes. I'm not a big tomato fan. I grow the little geranium kiss tomato indoors. Have for the last few years. Not now because I have nothing growing right now, but I'll probably plant one of those. Um, just because I like to go in there and pick up little cherry tomatoes and eat them. Um, oh, good. But but I'm just not a big tomato fan. I tried to grow the Paul Robeson. I grew 5 beautiful plants, had flowers all over them. Did not produce a single tomato. For me, that was wasted time and effort. That was completely wasted time and effort. And so I was like, yeah, not doing that again. Um, but I haven't had a lot of luck with growing tomatoes in the garden, and I don't really care because I'm just not a fan of tomatoes like that. But anyways, I got not a single tomato out of all of those. Like I said, I had 5, and not only that, I had right, not doing that again. I had them. I moved them, so I had them in full sun. They didn't like that. I moved them into um, partial shade in the heat of the summer. Um, filtered. They got some sun, but they got partial shade. Nope. Um, and then I also put some at a different place. So not on my property, but on a different property. No, still didn't get none. None. Did all the things. So yeah, not happy with that. But it is what it is. But after seeing that video that she had today, I was like, if I could get tomatoes like that, I might be willing to I might be willing to, do the thing. Better Boys Get 100. I think I don't remember if that was Better Boy. I don't remember if it was a Better Boy or not. My husband grew, I think it was Better Boys last year, and he got some. I don't remember what Rose sent me. That's what I need to do. I need to do a video um, of the seeds I won this year. That's the bell pepper. I won some seeds this year, and I need to do a video with those seeds. I might do it. See right there. Hold on. Oh, Lord of mercy, Jesus. That's not what I thought it was. That's something else. Whew. This is not them. This is, oh, ain't that cute? A little, anyways. I'm not buying any more seeds. Oh, okay. Okay. These are the seeds that I'm supposed to be putting in my WIG. Oh, I got this little you guys have seen it, this little muncher cucumber. And I also have this space saver cucumber that I was gonna grow inside. Yeah, that part. I might drop some seeds tonight. I really don't need to buy any more seeds. I have tons. GT Junior, you don't have tons of seeds. You have millions of seeds. Literally millions of seeds. You're lucky. I don't live by you. Oh, Mike, I'd set up your heart and you just go in 5 minutes. Mike, literally, I cleaned them all up. They're all lined up, spaced out. They're ready to go. The jugs of water are sitting down in front of them. The seeds are right here in this box. I already picked the seeds out. It would take less than 5 minutes to set it up because they're ready to go. Only thing I need to do is pour the water in, put the sponges in, put the seeds in, plug them up. That's all I got to do. Everything is set and ready to go. And I have, how many units do I have in there? 1, 2, 3, 4 cleaned and ready to go. And I got one in a box. Yeah, that part. There's something wrong with me. I'm trying to tell you. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. But anyways, it is what it is. I ain't worried about it because you know what? One day I will say, this is ridiculous. Get it done. And I'll get it done just like that. And it'll be done. That day is not today. That day is not today. But it might be tomorrow. Well, it might be today. That day might be today because it just is now a new day. It's a new day, so it might be today. GT Junior, I'm gonna put you in timeout. Actually, my baby graduated, so we can go whoever. I ain't got to say Roll Tide no more. I ain't sending them. They ain't getting no more of my money. You hear me? They ain't getting no more of my money. We got papers. We got papers. So yeah, that part. We ain't got to say it no more, but I'm still gonna use my blanket. I got my Alabama swag going on. Even if I don't have to say Roll Tide no more. I said it for 4.5 years, so there's that. Or is it 5 years? I don't even know how long the boy was in school. I said it for as long as I had to say it. And I ain't mad at them. I am not mad at them at all. Like I said, we got papers. We got papers. Now we just need a job. And a job is coming soon. So, yeah. What is the mascot for Alabama A&M? Are they dogs? They might be dogs too. I don't even know what they are. I have no idea. I guess I should know since I got money going up there. They're dogs. They're bulldogs. So yeah, go dogs. So yeah, go dogs. Yay, I got a message. My shipment is on the way. So, anyways. Did I talk about crocheting? I think I probably talked about crocheting. I said I was gonna talk about crocheting. Um, but yeah, finished that one blanket. I did a short on that one, so that was kind of cool. I was glad to get it out. It took me forever. It seems like it took me forever because I've been working on it since before Christmas, but I really wasn't working on it. One of the things that realized is that if I don't go live, I don't crochet as much because generally I crochet when I'm on the live, unless like right now I'm cold, which is fine. I'll be warming a little bit. Um, I hate this is in between weather. It was 80 degrees today. So it was warm in the house today, but now it's chilly in the house, and I doubt if my heater will come on because it was 80 degrees today. So it's not that chilly in the house. So, it's probably 70, 71. It's just not 80. So yeah. Um, and I haven't switched the thermostat over because it's gonna get cold again. Hmm, that's interesting. But yeah, it's gonna get cold again. So yeah, I haven't switched that over. It's 77 in your grow room and you're hot. Oh. Actually my room, yeah, my grow room is actually cool because I keep the vent closed in there. So it's usually cooler in there in the wintertime, and but I also keep a fan on in there, so it's usually cooler in there. Um most of the year. And sometimes in the summertime it gets warmer in there, and if I feel like it's getting too warm in there, then I'll open the door, so let some cool air. But if I'm working in there, I'll open the door. I never open that vent, um, and I try not to work in there too long because it can get hot in there. It can get hot in there. But that's my grow room and my craft room and my yeah. I do a lot of things in there, like I got a lot of supplies and stuff. My kind of a storage area too. And it's kind of a guest room, but not really because I don't have guests in my house. I try not to have guests in my house, and that's a backup guest room. I only put them in that room if they yeah if we're overflowing. Like I said, I try not to do that, but yeah. I've got a couple. I ordered some yarn from Hobie. It's probably been 6 months ago, if not longer. Um, I think it's all 100% cotton, and I wanted to make myself some hats because I'm wearing hats these days because I'm too lazy to do my hair. It's in a bun in the back. Y'all see, there's a bun back there. It's a little bitty ponytail bun in the back, and is it still? Yeah, it's still damp. I washed it this morning. It's still damp. Um, but I've gotten the habit of just um, either cornrowing it, French braiding it, cornrowing or flat twisting it down into 2 or 3 pieces, and then putting a hat on. Just wear a hat. And so I have some that are 100% cotton, and I want some yarn. I want to make some hats for myself for the summertime. I like cotton hats for the summertime because they're breathable, and if like I know, if you're cold and you want to get warm, quickly put a hat on because it holds the heat in. But that's why I make cotton hats, and I also make open mesh hats. I thought I had one of my cotton hats right here. Y'all seen the white one I wear a lot of times, but I'll make an open mesh hat out of that. And so I have that cotton yarn. That's the next project that I'm going to work on. And then I have some ends. Um, like I have this is not ends. This can make something big. So I have some. I got a couple small projects that I'm gonna make out of stuff. This is like leftover from that blanket, but it's almost a full skein. I just did the border out of this color, and so I've got some ends, and I've got a bunch of pieces like that. And so I'm probably gonna do a loose end. I call them a loose ends project, where I have here's another piece. Hold on, I'll show you. like this. I've got this little bit right here. Actually, I have a ball somewhere that is just pieces that I've just wound up together that are what was left over when I finished the project. So I'll make some little amigurumis out of that. This will be cute to make, some a little stuffy for um my collection. Y'all know I got a collection of things over there. If I can find patterns for, or if I can figure out how to make patterns for the ones I want to make. But what I really want to do is I want to do a loose ends blanket. So I've been keeping those for that. But there's some other things I want to make too, because I like the crossbody phone bags. Somebody's making them now. Somebody, iPhone, I think, is making um, crossbody phone carry bags, but I'm gonna make some out of yarn. I've made them before iPhone decided to come out with them, and so I'm gonna make some of those because they don't take a lot of yarn and it doesn't take long to make them. And I'm also gonna make some water bottle carriers, crossbody water bottle carriers, bags out of these two, little mesh bags, like kind of like this, but this has cards in it, but you can use them for a lot of things. You put a long strap on it and you can throw it across your body. But you can make them for books. If you carry a book with you to read, or for your phone, for a water bottle, or anything that you want to carry with you, and you want to put it across your body so your hands are free. I like to carry my water bottles in them, like when I'm traveling and I have a water bottle that I'm carrying along with me. I like to put them in that bag to carry it, so I don't have to hold it in my hand, and I don't have to worry about, where's my water bottle? Where's my water bottle? That kind of thing. So yeah, that part. So, and those are loose ends projects because it doesn't take very much yarn to make something like this, because it's an open mesh. It's very fast, and it doesn't take much yarn. So, this one will make one big enough for uh, um, a water bottle or phone. May not be enough on this one for the strap, but then I do have, um, I bought some webbing. That's another thing I was going to tell you. I bought some webbing um, for straps for some projects that I'm going to be working on. I've got some things in the works that I'm working on, and I needed some straps. And I was like, I could make the straps out of fabric, but I said I don't really want to make the straps out of fabric. I just want something that I can make a strap quickly and easily make a good sturdy strap out of. And so I bought some webbing for that, and so I'm going to be trying some things out to see how it works. One thing about the crossbody phone bag, hang on, where is it? I don't even know if I have one handy, but I use them and I'm in the garden, so I have my phone on me, because my hands are often occupied, and with the bag I can have the phone, throw it across my back and keep it moving. Um, and so yeah, those are nice. And I do have some cotton, 100%, not 100% cotton, but some, what is this? Um, I don't know. It's 85% cotton and 15% polyester. It's from Premier Yarns Just Cotton that you get at Dollar Tree. You can get it at a Dollar Tree, and I've got several of those. And so I'm gonna make some cotton bags out of those too. I'm gonna make some bath scrubbies out of the scrubby yarn. Just exfoliating bath scrubbies. I've got a lot of little projects that I'm gonna be working on here. Um, but yeah, like I said, I got a lot of these loose ends here. You see, loose ends. These are all loose ends. Um, and those are just, what was left over after making other stuff. And when I made the calendar blanket, I had a bunch of those that I used up. But then I made other stuff, and so I still have a bunch of them left. And so Um, is this the one? Yeah. But yeah, I have several of them. I have a whole bucket full of those small. Yeah. Oh, a harvest bag. Oh, you know what, Mike? I made a garden bag out of um old jeans. And the funny thing about it, I didn't save the pattern. I just literally I took a pair of old jeans and I said, how can I do this? And I did it so that the pockets of the jeans, the main pocket of the jeans, there was like the main pocket, one on each side, and then I added a layer with additional pockets on the outside so you could put tools and stuff in it, and then it had the big center pocket that you could put stuff in, and then it had straps. And I made it all other than, I mean, just cut the jeans up in pieces and made it. And I don't remember, I didn't write it down. It's so funny, but I did. You know what what I think I'll do is I made it for a friend. This is the crazy thing. I made it for a friend who was retiring, um, from work, and she was going to do some gardening. She says, "Oh, I'm going to do a lot of gardening." I was like, "I'll make her a gardening bag." Boom. And I was like, "I'll use uniforms," because we wore uniforms at work. "I'll use a pair of uniform pants." And so I found a pair of uniform jeans that I had and made her that out of the uniform jeans. It's like, I know you don't want to worry about that uniform anymore, but I upsized it, upscaled it, or whatever they call it. Yeah. And made you this bag, and it was really nice. But I might call her, touch bases with her, and ask her if she can send me a picture, because if I had a picture of it, I could probably recreate it. But that's the word. That's one of the worst things about me and my creativity. I am bad about not writing stuff down and not taking pictures of stuff. I have made I have made probably easily 25 baby blankets that I've never taken a picture of. Not a picture, nothing. I just make them, give them away, make them, give them away, make them, give them away. And some of them are, just basic, you know, granny squares or something like that. But some of them are not. Some of them are intricate patterns. I made a scarf set one year, and I created the pattern on the fly. Did I write it down? No. Did not write it down. Did I take a picture? No. Upcycle, that's the word for it. Yeah. Didn't. On the fly. And it's like, oh, I can make this. And I get it done. And it's like, oh, I think I'll give it to so-and-so. Here, have this. And it's gone. I've been better though. In the last few years, I've been better about taking pictures and posting pictures online of things that I've made. But I'm not. It's like when Rebecca asked me, how many stitches did you use to start? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I wrote it down. I could have written it down. There's a possibility that I wrote it down. But I don't think I did. I don't think I did. And I'll look back in my notes to see if I maybe wrote it down, but I doubt it. 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 Yeah, I doubt it. That part. I'll get better though. I'll get better. Yeah. Yeah. The thing of it is, I gotta go to the store and get some more notebooks. I have so many journals and so many notebooks, and when I do write stuff down, I don't necessarily write it in a place where I can remember where I wrote it. So then it's like, well, did I put it in this book? Or did I put it in that book? Anyways, that part. I love lemon tea. I love lemon tea. It's so funny. I was gonna make some blueberry lemonade. When today I said, oh, when I come home, I'll make some blueberry lemonade because my husband works for this nonprofit organization, and they somebody had donated some blueberries to them. And so he came in, he was like, you want some blueberries? I'm like, sure, I always want blueberries. And he was like, yeah, I got so many, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And I was like, well, you can always freeze them. You know, blueberries freeze really well, and you still use them for whatever you want them for. And anyway, so he was like, yeah, I didn't think about that. But anyway, so he brought me some blueberries. And so yesterday I said, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday. Yesterday I'm gonna make some oatmeal with blueberries, and so I made some oatmeal, and I made like a blueberry. I don't know what you call it. I just cook them a little bit in the microwave. Put a little bit of sugar on them. Cook them in a little bit in the microwave until the berries burst, and stir it up. Berries burst, stir it up, and then swirl it into my oatmeal. So I had some blueberry oatmeal, and it was really, really good. Steel cut oats, yeah, love them. But I can't eat them very often. But so yeah, blueberry oatmeal. And then I was like, oh, I have some of that syrup that I made left, so I'll make some blueberry lemonade today. So I went out, had to go out, did some things, and when I stopped and I got the tea, and I was like, well, since I got the tea, I'll just make the tea lemonade. And so I made the tea lemonade today, and so tomorrow we'll have the blueberry lemonade. It's not that much left. It's only probably about a tablespoon of the blueberry left, but it's just enough to put it in to give it a little bit of flavor. But I love flavored lemonades, and so I'll make blueberry or strawberry or even the sorrel or cranberry. Ooh, you can do the same thing with cranberries. Take your cranberries, put a little bit of sugar in them, pop them in the microwave, and then turn it on until the cranberries pop. Stir it up, put it in your lemonade. Yeah, and if you don't, I mean, you don't have to sweeten them. I do because I like that's what I end up sweetening my lemonade with that. Instead of using sugar in the lemonade, I use the sugar in the syrup, and I sweeten the lemonade with the syrup. And so cool. But cranberries, um, what did I say? Sorrel, Jamaican sorrel, strawberries, blueberries, yummy, 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 yummy. Flavored lemonades. It sounds really good. And sometimes I'll just use I'll put it in, like I have these water. These are flavored sparkling waters. Um Sometimes I'll get just the plain ones, and I will put the fruit in it, and I'll just cut the fruit up and pour it over it in there, and it just gives the essence of it. And so it's just water with fruit in it, and it's so good. And you can do that with any kind of fruit, or even vegetables. Like I like it with cucumbers in it too. So yeah, cool. I should make overnight oats for tomorrow. I don't like overnight oats. I like my oats cooked. But yeah, it's funny because growing up, we ate overnight oats. It wasn't called that, but that's what it was. We ate overnight oats. Sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes it was like, yeah, I'm gonna make some oats for tomorrow, and you just, you put them in the refrigerator the night before, and you'd have them in the morning. But I don't really like them. As a kid, I think I did, but not now. I just prefer them cooked or something. And I think it might be, um, I don't know, but yeah, that part. But yeah, but I do love oatmeal, um, cooked, and I prefer steel cut. But I will eat. old fashioned. Um, for real, I will eat old fashioned. Um, I will not eat instant though. No. I'll eat the quick cook if I have to, but instant, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's so funny. I was looking at this thing and it was talking about they had all these foods on it. And it was say the foods that you will not eat, and it was like I was going down the list. It's like nope, 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 nope. uh, but it really there's not a lot for me. There's not a lot of foods that I won't eat. There's a lot of foods that I prefer not to eat. But if I was hungry enough, I would eat most of them except for liver. I don't think I could. I don't think I could eat enough liver to sustain myself. If that was all I had to eat, I think I would just starve. I just don't think I can. Um, but that's probably the really the only one that, yeah. But I could eat the gravy. I could eat the gravy, and I could eat the onions. uh, I can eat Brussels. I can eat chitlins, but I cannot eat liver. And I've tried multiple times because I've been anemic my entire life. And you know, they were always saying, you need to eat liver, you need to eat liver, blah blah blah. No, 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 and no. No, 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 no. But yeah, that's funny. A lot of people don't eat chitlins. I will eat chitlins. Chitlins. I don't buy them, I don't cook them, but yeah, I'll eat them. If I can get somebody to cook them for me that knows how to cook them, yeah. Yeah, that part. But fried chicken liver is not great. Fried chicken livers are great for fishing with. Chicken liver is really great for fishing for catfish with. That's what chicken livers are for. If I buy chicken livers, you can best believe I'm going catfishing. hmm But I'm not going to eat them. That part. Not going to eat them. Catfish. That's what we're gonna do. Fishing for catfish. That's what we're gonna do. I've tried them. I tried them and tried to like them, but now I like chicken gizzards, and they don't. The texture is different. It's a texture thing for me. I gizzards I can eat all day, every day, but liver I cannot get past it. But yeah, did you guys see? I think I probably asked before that thing where the guy did the deep fried bacon. First of all, there's no reason to deep fry bacon ever. That's just being extra. But but it was like I would eat that. I would definitely eat that. Basically, he took the bacon and he cut the strips in half. Um, and then he made a batter. So he dipped them in flour or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. He seasoned them. He dipped them in flour. He dipped them in the batter and dipped them like double dip, batter dip, and then deep fried it in a bat like in a basket or in dropped it in where it drops it in and it floats up. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And they looked like they looked like chicken strips or something because they were that batter was that on it that thick, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" But there's no reason to do that. There really is no reason to do that because bacon is just good. You don't have to do nothing to bacon. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, GT doing it. And I've tried them all. You know, any liver that you can buy at the store and cook it, I've had it all, but tried it all because my mom used to cook it. If she wanted calf liver, she bought calf liver. If she wanted, whatever. If she wanted whatever, she would cook it. And there's some things, yeah. There are a few more things that I won't eat, but yeah, we're not even gonna talk about them. They were doing this the Mississippi snack plate. Have you guys seen that one? That one's an interesting one too. The Mississippi snack plate. It had like pig lips, souse meat, pig feet, boiled peanuts, um, pickled eggs, and chips and saltines. I think saltine crackers and chips. I can't remember what else, but yeah, that's what it had, a bunch of stuff like that on it. And yeah, I was thinking, I'd eat it. I wouldn't want to eat it. I wouldn't want to eat it, but I would eat it. All of it. Oh, if I went to a party and they had that snack plate up there, there would definitely be some things on there that I would eat. So yeah, I'm like everything but the squeal and the liver. When it comes to the pig, everything but the squeal and the liver. If I was hungry enough, I'd eat Ritz crackers. I would probably eat it on saltine crackers, not Ritz crackers. I prefer Ritz crackers or club crackers or townhouse crackers, but those things got so much junk in them nowadays. I don't know. I'm afraid to. I'd rather just have plain old saltine because at least those are real food, which is crazy. I ain't had pig lips. I've never had pig lips either, but hey, I've had the feet and the tail and the ears. Why haven't I had the lips? I don't know. If I had, I probably have. You might have had it too, GT Junior, because when they make barbecue down south, they be chopping up a lot of stuff and putting in there. So you might, you might have had the lips. Uh, oh my goodness, that is true. If you had a hot dog, you might have had lips in the hot dog. If you've had bologna, yeah, that part. And they used to have the corner store that had the big old rolls of bologna, the big ones that they sliced it for you, and you can get the thick old slices. There was one right across the road from the office. Um, Speaking of which office was that? That's pretty interesting. I'm sitting here trying to figure out which office it was it because we were in a couple of different offices. We moved offices when I was in that town, but there was like just like down the road and across the way there was a little store, a little deli store, and they had they had the South meat and they had the bologna and they had all of that stuff, and I gave up. I stopped eating that stuff when I lived there because have you ever heard of, you may not have, um well GT Junior, you may have heard of it, but you ever heard of, I think it was called Carolina. There was a meat processing plant. Um I think it was called Carolina Meat Company. Maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. Uh, but anyways, they used to sell processed meat, but there was a meat processing plant in the town that I used to live in. And when they are rendering, oh my God. If y'all think chitlins smell bad, you ain't smelled nothing. You hear me? You ain't smelled nothing until they were rendered. And they made hot dogs. that plant, they made hot dogs and like they had bologna and stuff like that. I could not. I could not. It's like once you've gone through one round of that plant having one of them days, and I don't know what it was, whether something wasn't working right or whatever, but the whole town would get that smell, and it was horrible. I mean, it was like, okay, we're shutting the office down because people are getting sick. That way, that bad. Yeah, it was like, I'm done. And I don't know whether they may have been one of the places that it might have been one of the places where they took all the things that they couldn't put into human food and make dog food out of or whatever. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I'm talking out of my head, but I'm telling you the smell was enough to make you say, I'm going to be a vegetarian. I literally did. Literally living there, I stopped eating meat because I was like, I cannot eat this. I don't, yeah, can't eat it no more. Cannot. And so yeah, and it's so funny because I have those food versions. Um, it's not bad, really. It's not bad. I'm pretty much one of those people. I'm one of those old fashioned people who will eat food and eat food. If it's food, I'll eat it more than There's very few things that I absolutely will not eat. But like when I was growing up, there's certain times of the year I couldn't eat chickens, like chicken processing time. Can't do it. Because I had to be out there and helping, and the smell, it was like, my mom was like, "You want me to, put one of these hens in the oven, or da 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 da? Want me to put this, fry? You know what I mean? Fry out one of these, birds or anything?" I'm like, "Can you put it in the freezer?" Because in 3 months or 6 months I can eat it, but not right now. The worst smell is cleaning station, like 3 miles from the house. They clean grain cars. The stuff left would ferment. Oh my gosh. Had some kind of a plant close to my early beginnings, and I remember some of those smells. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. People are so removed from where our food comes from now that they just don't have any idea, because they're so far removed from it. They just don't have any idea what it's like. Um, but yeah, having grew up in the country, and or grown up in the country, is a grew or grown. Anyway, having grown up in the country and being around processing, um, um, there's certain things that if it's hog killing time, I shouldn't say that. That not that word. But if it's processing time, um, it's like I don't want any barbecue. They think farm is the same as the store. No, it ain't even close. But I don't want any barbecue. Um, it's so funny. I don't want any hamburger at all. Um, Growing up the way I grew up, hamburger was trash meat, literally. And I'm not saying it as a bad thing. But it was like the hamburger was all the pieces that were left over after you cut off the prime pieces, right? So you cut off all the prime pieces, and what was left over went into hamburger. And by the time you got around to making the hamburger, you were sick of it. You were just sick of it. And the same thing is like barbecue. It's one thing when the pig is out and it's cooking and whatever, and it comes off and you've got your sliced pork, whatever. But once you got it and you're chopping it up and you have it in the big bins, and you're up to your elbows in mixing it with the lemon juice, the orange juice, all the things that you mix it in to make the flavors of Carolina barbecue, Eastern Carolina barbecue, because we made it a certain way. All of the things that went into it, and all the stuff that you put in, and everything that you chopped up and put it in there, and everything that you crunched up and put it in there, and you mixing it up, and you got it going on, and then you're packing it into the thing, and you throw it in the freezer. By the time you get done with it, you don't want any. You don't want any. You're like, Yeah, no, I'm good. I am good. And don't get me wrong, going out there and having a North Carolina pig picking where they have it cut laid out on the thing and it's, sliced open and you get the tongs out and you pull your meat off. Yummy. But process that, into bags, into the freezer. And after you spent a day or two working on that, you don't want any. You're like, if I don't see any more pork, that'd be good. Now 6 months later, you've kind of put that behind you and moved on. And moved on. But it's the same thing, it's the same thing with beef or with chickens or with turkeys or with whatever, deer, even deer processing. Um, after you've had one hung up on, out there by the, at the carport and drained and processed. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I don't really want any. Can you put that in the freezer? It's even the same with fish. We would go fishing and literally, it depends on what my dad was fishing for, if we whether or not we dropped the net or if we were, fishing with rod and reel. But when you come home and you've got two big of those big white coolers full of fish and you've got to process those, you got to get them processed today. Because otherwise, you can't let them sit out. So they're on ice. They're in ice, and you're taking them out, and you're cleaning them. You're scaling them. You're gutting them. You're packing them in, bags and putting them in the deep freezer. Um, the last thing you want to do is eat fish. At that point. And for a long time, I didn't eat fish, and even now, when I eat fish, I only eat really really fresh fish. So if I go to the coast, I'll eat fish. But like, just to go to an inland restaurant and order fish, I'm not going to do it because one, it's not going to be fresh and it's not going to taste good. And so, yeah, that's me going, no, I'm not going to eat that. Nope, nope. But but it's the same. But and I think about any of those things that you're processing are that way. But I mean, I feel the same way about the veggies too. When we would have a big harvest from the garden and you know when the stuff was in season, it was work. It was work, and I can tell you stories from growing up, where I grew up, and having to process different things that it's like I don't want to see any more of that because the the pressure cooker, the pressure canner was going, and the freezer was going, and you were stringing and snapping beans and peas and all of that, and it's like, ugh. It's like, yeah, eating is so overrated. But yeah, people are so far removed from it anymore. And I'm glad that I grew up the way I did because at least I know how. I know how to forage from foods. I know how to grow foods. I know how to process foods. I will not starve ever because there's always something edible within. I mean, right here. So I still can't eat KFC after working there. Oh, yeah, that part. I never worked in food services, so um, that part. Said fries, desserts, nuggets. The rest, nope. He says nope. Okay, okay. I get it though. I really get it. I think about I'm glad I never worked food services because there's just too many opportunities for things to go wrong. And I'm sure working there, you see things go really wrong. Oh, there was a guy on YouTube. He dropped a video today about um, boiling frozen burger patties. Boiling, where so they would take them out of the freezer, and instead of cooking them on a grill or popping them in the oven or whatever to cook them, they would put them in boiling water. to cook them. And somebody said they drop them on the floor in the factory. That's just how you clean them. By cooking them in boiling water first, and then pouring the water off, and then frying them. I was like, that is wrong. The comment was wrong for that, but I don't doubt him. You don't know what happens in the factory. I saw a doc. Oh, it was on the news. Was it on the news? I don't remember what it was. Somewhere, this guy in England had got a loaf of bread, and he turned it over and looked at it, and he ended up calling and um, suing them for what was baked in the bread. And I didn't eat bread for at least 2 years after seeing that. And it was like, this is just, yeah, 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 yeah. And that was visible. It was clearly visible. You could see fingers and toes. No, it wasn't fingers. You could you could see noses and toes. And it was like, yeah, something just, fell in one of the pans before the bread got in it. And yeah, yeah, my grill is 650 degrees. Water is only 220. Exactly, that part. So I put it on the grill, put it in the oven. I think what they're doing is they're using the boiling water to thaw it, to slowly thaw it out, and then once they're sure it's thawed out, then they're frying it up. You get to pour the grease off of it and all of that. But I'm like, psh, I'm not buying patties, pre-made patties, frozen or otherwise. For one, I'm not gonna do that. If I had my way about it, I'd buy chunks of meat and grind it myself if I have to have ground beef. But I'm not a big ground meat person. Don't want it. Nope, 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 nope. It reminds me of what's that movie? I forgot the name of that movie. It was barbecue. It wasn't ground meat, it was barbecue. Oh my gosh. Fried green tomatoes. It's like, yeah, I don't want any chopped meat. I don't want any fried meat. I don't want any barbecue. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want any ground meat. If I have a choice between pulled pork and chopped pork, I'm gonna get pulled pork every time. Oh, I'm getting a grinder to test. Oh, I'm gonna grind my own hamburger and make real pork sausage. Oh, that is nice. That is really nice. Yeah, I'm jelly. I'm jelly, jelly, jelly. Not really, because I don't really want to do the work to do it, but yeah. Make real pork sausage. Yeah. Now, one thing that I do like that I can't that I don't know how to make is summer sausage. And I haven't had it in a long time. But we would always get elk or deer summer sausage after during the season. Um, when people were um hunting. And I love that. I haven't had it in a long, long time. I should call. I got friends though. There's people I could call who I could probably get some summer sausage from. But it was always good. But most people don't know that most of the time when you get deer or elk sausage, it has pork in it because they're so lean. They usually add pork fat to it to get the fat content up to a point where it'll cook up well. Um, so yeah, but yeah, that's a good idea. Um, that is a good idea. I haven't had Jimmy Dean's in ages. They have most sausage, most sausage out there has MSG in it, and I pretty much don't. I try to avoid MSG when I can. Sometimes it gives me headaches. Not always, but sometimes it does, and so I don't buy sausage hardly at all anymore because a lot of times it'll have MSG in it. Although Publix does have a Italian sausage that doesn't have MSG in it. Um, and so I buy that one on occasion, but I don't buy it a lot because I don't really love it, but I like it. Like I think I might have shown, or maybe I didn't. I made potato soup with Italian sausage. A couple weeks ago. I think I may have done a short on it. I may not. I can't remember. I know I did when I did the Italian sausage and shrimp. I made that. I showed that one, but then the next day I did that Italian sausage and potato soup, and yeah, I love that. Um, but I used to love Jimmy Dean's too. Jimmy Dean's was my favorite, and in fact, I used to make um I used to use that to make my meatballs when I would make spaghetti and meatballs because my kids used to love spaghetti and meatballs. And so I would use Jimmy Dean sausage to make the meatballs. And all I would do is just use a little bitty tiny scoop. I mean, little, like tiny, tiny. And I would just drop them right in the sauce, just like that. And then I would cook them until the meat was done. And I'd put that sauce over the spaghetti. And my kids loved that, that Jimmy Dean sausage. Yeah, they loved that. Um, but like I said, I can't even eat it anymore. Like I said, because they changed the recipe, they changed the taste of it, and yeah, so not so much. I just like a fry, a good patty with eggs, no carbs. Tasty, yeah. Same. Swaggerties used to be good. Now it's flavorless pucks, really. Yeah. There's I don't know what the name of it is. I don't know what the brand is. It might be Smithfield. It might be Gwaltney. I can't remember. But there's a local sausage that you can get in Eastern North Carolina that still is pretty good. In fact, when my sister comes to visit me, I'm like, bring me some sausage. You can get it like everywhere. All the local stores. You can go to Walmart and get it. And it's just on a white pack, on the white um, styrofoam pack with plastic over it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know I don't think that it has a brand name. It just says fresh. No, it says fresh. Yeah, fresh sausage. Or something like that. And it's in a casing, but you can take it out and make patties out of it if you want to, or you can cook it in the casing. The casing is thin, is a very thin casing. It's not a thick casing at all. But it's really good. It's really good. It has a really nice flavor. Um, but I don't know what the brand is. I don't know. I don't know who makes it, but it's only available in Eastern North Carolina. It's kind of like down in lower look in Alabama, you can get Conecuh sausage, and lots of people from up north when they travel down here, they get it or they buy it. You can order it and have it shipped to you, and even like Aldi here carries Conecuh sausage. You can get Conecuh sausage anywhere around here. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not what I grew up with. For the people who grew up with it, they like the Conecuh sausage. I'll eat it. Don't get me wrong. It's great. Throw it on the grill when you're grilling. Throw some Conecuh sausage up there. Yeah, it's pretty good. But it's not something that I keep around. I probably eat it maybe a couple times a year. But that one from North Carolina, if I could get it, I would probably have it in the house all the time. Um, but yeah, but like I said, I don't know what the branding is on it. Yeah, I have no idea what the branding is on it. I just know that you can get it at pretty much any grocery store in Eastern North Carolina. You can get it at Walmart, Food Line, Piggly Wiggly, um, Kroger. Do they have Kroger? Kroger's, Harris Teeter, whoever they have. Whoever they have down there. I don't know who they have down there, but all the stores have it. So yeah. But I miss sausage. It's funny. That was the sausage that we grew up on. I don't know who, like I said, I don't know who make it, but it was locally available in any place, and it was what we grew up eating, like on a regular basis. We had pretty much every morning. My mom cooked either sausage or bacon, or sausage and bacon. She would make biscuits almost every day, and we'd have a pot of rice. Um, on the stove. And if you wanted like an egg or something to go with it, you could cook yourself an egg or she'd cook you an egg. So we had, basically I grew up with a hot breakfast every morning. Um, because my dad was a breakfast eater. He would not go to work without having hot breakfast. And my mom would get up in the morning and she would cook breakfast stuff um, every day. And so yeah, that's what we had. We grew up on that. Sometimes we would have oatmeal, but most days we just have rice. Sometimes we'd have grits, but most days was rice. Um, um, and like I said, sausage or bacon or both. And it was most of the time it was, slab bacon with the skin on. And I love bacon skins. I know, because I'm country like that, but I like, that's what she would buy. She always bought the slab bacon with the skin on. And she would go to the butcher, and they would slice it up for her. And she'd always, ask skin on, and she'd go pick out her slab. She'd take it to the butcher. He'd slice it up for her and leave the skin on it. And that's what we had. And that sausage, that same sausage. And I don't, but I miss that. I wish I could get it. Wish I could get it here, but they don't have it in Alabama, and different part of the country, different different traditions, different ways of doing things. But that part. But it's interesting. My mom, you know, raised us on a hot breakfast every day, and when my kids were here, they pretty much had a hot breakfast every day. I'd get up in the morning and fix breakfast every day, and I taught them how to cook breakfast too. Now it wasn't to the same level because I wasn't making homemade biscuits. I might have frozen biscuits in the freezer, Mary B's or Marshalls, or some of the ones that were decent, and I might cook a couple of biscuits. But yeah, they still had a hot breakfast, and um, they might have, instant grits or instant oatmeal, um, if time was short and I was just trying to get something hot in their bellies. Um, but yeah, it was definitely different. But they still got a hot breakfast. Almost every day they had a hot breakfast, and we sat down to dinner almost every day. A home cooked meal almost every day. Uh, I mean, they did have cereal from time to time. My kids didn't like milk, which was crazy. My kids did not like milk, um, and so they weren't big cereal eaters. Um, but and didn't really they didn't really care for eggs, but I could get eggs in them if I made grits. I could mix the grits and eggs together, and they would eat it. You know, mix the grits, eggs, and cheese together, and they would eat it that way. But didn't care for eggs, didn't care for milk. So yeah. What do you do? What do you do? But it's funny now. Both of them eat eggs. Um, my youngest still puts ketchup all over his eggs because he says I don't like them. I'm like, why do you eat them? Good source of protein. He is for real about his macros. Like I get it right, macros. He's gonna get his protein in every day, and he's gonna eat real food to get it. And so if it means eating eggs, he's gonna put some ketchup on those eggs, and he's gonna get them eggs in. And when he says, "Oh, I need to eat something green," he will throw some spinach in those eggs. But that's what I used to do. I was always sneaky with their food. Spaghetti is something that you can always get more vegetables in. Um, I've never made spaghetti that didn't have a tons of vegetables added in. I would add in carrots and onions and peppers. Yes, definitely. And garlic. And they didn't know what was in there. And sometimes I would add in kale or spinach. They didn't know what was in there. I'd add in whatever I wanted to add in. In spaghetti, because they love spaghetti and they will eat their weight in spaghetti. And so the sauce was always a chunky sauce. Oh, we having a chunky sauce. For real, for real. And another thing that they both like, and they got it from their dad because I don't eat it, is beets. And so whenever we had spaghetti, they had beets. And I'm like, what? I love my eggs. My chickens are making eggs for a short time this winter. I got 18 pack of the calendar before this cold spell. Oh, okay. How are your chickens liking their coop? Yeah, I wish I could have chickens. I guess it's something I should bring up to our homeowners association because it doesn't make any sense that we can't have chickens here. But it just doesn't make any sense. It's Alabama, for heaven's sakes. We ought to be able to have chickens. Okay. Honestly, I don't even want chickens. I just don't like the idea that we can't have them. And I keep thinking about it. Really and truly, there's probably enough people around here who have chickens that I can find somebody and get eggs. Actually, um, Sunshine is not that far away. Y'all know Sunshine? I forget what her the full not she is Sunshine in Texas, but the other Sunshine and over in Georgia. I forget, but they're not that far away. They're about an hour away, but it would be worth it to go over there to get eggs. Every 6 weeks or so. But yeah, but I probably could find somebody in our YouTube community who's close enough that I could get eggs from. I can't remember. I can't remember her full name, but y'all know who. I think y'all know. Y'all might know who I'm talking about. I haven't seen much from them lately, but they're close. And they have chickens. I remember when they got chickens. It's not been that long ago, so I think they still have chickens. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, I want chickens. I don't want chickens, but I wish that we could have chickens. If we could have chickens, then I would get quail. Um, and I keep thinking about getting quail and having them in the garage, but I keep hearing I hear things. Sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, you could do that," and other people say, "Oh, you don't want to do that." So I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it or not, but yeah, I might get some anyway. Just get maybe a couple anyway, just to see what it's like, and then decide if I want to, get more or not. I don't know, but I thought about it. Yeah, it's interesting because um, in in Auburn they can have five chickens, no roosters, in the city limits, and I think even in Montgomery in the city limits they can have them, but not in our homeowners association. So it's the homeowners association that is the problem. It's not the community in the problem because um, I have a friend that lives right down the road from me, and in her subdivision they can have chickens, and she got chickens and goats, and there's okay, she got chickens and goats, but she also has 15 acres and a creek, but it's a subdivision. Yeah, and they have a homeowners association, and if I had the money I would buy out there too, because I would like to have 15 acres. Yes, if my grass gets too high, they send me a nasty letter and a picture of it, and they give me 2 days to get it fixed, or they'll put a lien against my property. That part. Or they'll send me a fine. If I don't pay the fine, they'll put a lien against the property. But I'm like, why would I pay the fine? If you give me a fine for not mowing my grass, then I'm not going to mow the grass and I'm not going to pay the fine, because if I mow the grass and I've already given you the money, I don't get my money back, right? So then I'm not going to mow it. And it doesn't make any sense for me to pay a fine, because once I pay the fine, you're going to give me another notification that my grass needs cutting, right? And then I'm going to have to pay another fine. So I just keep paying you over and over again. No, I'm not going to do that. But I do get my grass mowed on a regular. I have a contract. It's not even a contract. I have a guy who cuts my yard. He cuts it every 2 weeks. during the season. If I need them to cut, all I need to do is just to send them an email and they come and they cut. And I pay them cash um, to do it. Because if you pay with any other method, if you don't pay cash, then they charge you a percentage. What they call it, a processing fee. They call it a processing fee now. Anytime that you use a credit card or debit card, you're going to get charged a processing fee. And that is just a money grab. This is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. That's a money grab because it doesn't make any sense for it to be a percentage. The credit card company does not charge them a percentage, a dollar percentage for processing. And what I'm saying is, like, if I wrote you, if I swipe my card for $1,000, they're not going to charge you. Is that right? I can't even do the math in my head, and it's a 10. Yeah. They're not going to charge you an extra $30 to process that. Are they? And so, for example, when paying tuition to the college, the percentage sometimes is at 3%. So tuition can be literally tuition could be 10, 12, $15,000. You're going to charge me an extra 3% if I pay you with a credit card, but you're not going to charge me anything if I send you a check. I'm going to send you a check. I'm going to send you a check. And that's what you're going to get. Because I'm not going to pay you an extra, whatever the extra is. $300? I can't even do the math. Yeah. At 3%, if I'm paying you $10,000 for tuition, I'm not going to pay you an extra $300 just to use a credit card. So I'm going to send you a check. Even if I got to do a cash advance off of the credit card to have the money in my checking account to send you the check, I'm going to send you the check because it's not going to cost me $300 to do the cash advance. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say it's just a money grab, because they're not going to, the credit card company is not charging you them to process it. And so it's just a money grab, and it makes it difficult because it's like they know that people may not have that cash on hand. And so because you don't have the cash on hand, then you're going to have to use a credit card. And because you use a credit card, they get more money out of you. That's wrong. I went to get my car fixed the other day, and they said, if you use a debit card, we're going to charge you an extra processing fee of this much. This is your total if you use a debit card, but this is your total if you use a credit card. And I'm like, okay, I'll use a credit card then. It was like, and we don't take checks. Well, do you take cash? Because from now on, I'll bring the cash with me. And it's just crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. I just think it's a money grab, and I think it's wrong. People are already struggling, to make ends meet. People are already having a hard time. And you're going to make it that more difficult for them. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of places now that are charging that processing fee for using a credit card. Or a processing fee. And it depends on the place too, because some places it's a processing fee for a credit card, other places it's a processing fee for a debit card. And it's like, really? You can't win for losing, can you? But it is what it is. It is what it is, and ain't no need complaining about it. But what we can do is have a strategy. So instead of complaining about it, we have a strategy for what to do um, in those cases. So like when I go get my car repaired, I go prepared to pay cash if I have to. And when I a lot of things that I just pay cash. But yeah. And that's frustrating. That's really frustrating. And it's so funny because people are working really hard to, fix their credit, to get their credit good, to be able to get a credit card and, be able to use a credit card, blah, 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 blah. And now if you use a credit card, then it's gonna cost you more. And it's like, really? Seriously? Are you kidding me? After I worked so hard, in order to get this so I could use it, da 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 da, and now it's gonna cost me more. That's crazy. But, that's one of the things. Um, when I graduated college, I had credit cards. And I was glad I had them because I needed them and I had to put a lot of stuff on credit cards. And so one of the first things I did was pay off those credit cards. That was one of the first things I did was pay off those credit cards. And once I got them paid off, I did the thing that they tell you not to do is I canceled them. Yep, I did. They said, don't cancel them. You need to have them, blah, 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 credit, blah, 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 blah. I was like, whatever, I don't believe you. It could be that way, but I'm going to cancel. And I did, and I canceled them. All the credit cards that I had gas cards, I had Sears cards, I had Discover card, I had, this, I had American Express, blah, blah, blah. I had a bunch of credit cards. And I paid them off, canceled them, paid them off, canceled them, paid them off, and canceled them. And now I have one credit card. Do I have one? I may have more than one. I may have two. But I have one that I use. Um, I have one that I use, and and I don't, I never run a balance. So if I use it because there are benefits to using it, and I use it for the benefits. But if I swipe that card, if I use that card, you can best believe I'm going to make a payment on it the same day because I'm not going to have a balance on it. I'm not going to pay any interest on it. They're not going to make money off of me. I'm going to keep my money in my pocket. I'm not going to give it to some credit card company for um, to line their pockets. I'm not going to do it. I'm simply not going to do it. Um, and I'm glad I did that because that means I don't owe anybody nothing. You know, that means I don't owe nothing. And so if I want to go and buy something, um, I'll look at what it costs. I'll figure out how long it's going to take me to save up for it. I'll decide if it's worth it, and I'll save the money and I'll pay cash for it. And when I can't do that, then I figure out a plan to pay as little in interest as possible. And usually that means financing it through my credit union. But that's just the way it is. I mean that works for me. It don't work for everybody, but it works for me. And yeah. And believe you me, it means doing without. And it means it means waiting for the things that you want. It's really makes you really think about, is it something I want? Is it something I need? Is it worth it to me? But when it's worth it for me, then I will do it. Like, I wanted to take the Alaska cruise. I did take the Alaska cruise, and guess what? I paid no interest on that. I was able to pay it off before the cruise, and when we came back, we didn't owe anything. And so I didn't have to go into debt to do that. And I don't, and that's the way I am about things. I don't want to go into debt to do anything. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you have to. You want a new car, you might have to go into debt for a little while to do that. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to finance it for 6 or 7 years. Nope, not going to do that. If I have to finance it for that long, I didn't need it. I can find a cheaper car. If I can't pay it off in 4 years, then there's something wrong with me. It's like I need to be able to do that. But that doesn't work. Like I said, it doesn't work for everybody. It really doesn't work for everybody. And I know that I've been lucky that I've been able to live this way. But I also have learned to do without. That's one of the lessons that I learned from my dad is to live within your means. I'm not here. I'm not living for the Joneses. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I'm not trying, um, so and so has, a house is this expensive. I need a house that's that expensive. No, I don't. I need a house that I can afford the house note and that I can pay it off within a reasonable amount of time so that when I'm retired, I'm not making a house payment, you know? And so when I retired, I was not making a house payment because that was my goal. And so, yeah, live within your means. It was a hard lesson. It was a hard lesson to learn because, like I said, sometimes you really want to, do something that you really can't afford to do. And you just have to tough it out and say, you know what? In the long term, it'll be better if I don't do that. I remember watching this movie. I forget what the name of the sisters are. It was these two sisters. Um, and they were interviewing them. It was like a docu series or something. And they were interviewing the sisters, and they were so cute. They were so cute. I think they never married. I think they were maybe teachers or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they did, but they were going. Papa always says, "Save for a rainy day," and then they said, "I guess it's raining now." I, I thought it was so cute. I can't remember their names. I just saw them too. I saw it on something the other day. They were so cute. I was like, when I grow up, I want to be them. I want me and my sister to be like that. But they were so cute. They was just sitting in their rocking chair and they were being interviewed and everything. And it's like, Papa always says, save for a rainy day. Yep, my dad used to say that, save for a rainy day. And it's like, I guess it's raining now because they were living on their savings. And they were, I don't know what age they were. They were in their 80s, maybe in their 90s when they did the interview. I forgot what they called those. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I know you know who I'm talking about. I just can't remember their names. But yeah. But I remember I was little, well, kind of little when I saw it. Well, maybe I might have been college age or maybe a little bit younger when I saw it. But I remember thinking, oh, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be just like that. I want to be able to sit on my front porch in my rocking chair and 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 drink lemonade with my sister and and talk about what Daddy always told us. Um, and be able to not have to worry about anything. That's what I want to do when I grow up. That's what I want to be when I grow up. Yeah. I can't remember. I wish I could remember their names. Oh my God. But anyways, I can't remember. Mm, I'll get to it. Ma, remember Ma and Pa Kettle? I remember the name, but I don't really remember anything about it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ma and Pa Kettle. I'll get to it, Ma. I'll get to it, Ma. I can't remember. I remember the name, but I really don't remember any details about it. The Delaney sisters. That's who it was. Y'all remember the Delaney sisters? They hung out on the porch watching the world go by. Yeah. What was their names? Sadie and Bessie Delaney. It was an interview. It might have been. It might have been NPR. I don't remember who did it. But yeah, it was the Delaney sisters. Um, you too young, GT Junior. You too young. You're just a baby. Your daddy would know. Ask your daddy about the Delaney sisters. He'll know who they are. That part. You're just a baby. GT Junior, you're just a baby. And you know what? You should revel in being the baby. It's so funny when I started work, 100 years ago. 100 years ago, I was the youngest. I was, just fresh out of college, and I was the youngest. I was youngest in the office well, actually, I was still in college when I started work. I was still in college, and I was junior in college, and I was the youngest. So wherever I was the youngest. I was youngest. I was the youngest. I was the youngest. And all of a sudden, everybody was my age. It was so weird. All of a sudden, everybody was my age. I was the youngest, and then everybody was my age, and there are a few people were just a little bit older than me. Then all of a sudden, it was like, wait a minute, I'm the elder. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get up out of here. Because I went from being the youngest, and then I had all of these kids coming behind me, and I'm like, and it's so funny. I was having conversations like, yeah, I'm gonna have the kids come up, one at a time. We're gonna talk to them, da 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 da, and they would come in, and I was mentoring. I was like, what? Who am I to be mentoring anybody? I don't know nothing, because this is the thing about growing up. You grow up, and you become the next age group, but you still feel like you're that. You still feel like you're that, whatever that it was. It's like you still feel like you're 21. Now you're 31, but you still feel like you're 21. Now you're 41, and you still feel like you're 21. Now you're 51, and people are like calling you Miss. And people call me that now. Like on here, they go, Miss Felicia this, Miss Felicia that, and I'm like, who are they talking to? Oh, that's me. Like, oh, that's me. And luckily, I should say, I shouldn't say luckily, but I changed my name when I got married, and so they're calling me Miss Humphrey, and so I'm like, oh, okay, that's me. But if they were calling me by my maiden name and calling me Miss, I would be looking around for my mama. I would be, because it's like, what happened? It's like, I'm almost 50. Oh, you're such a baby. Oh, I'm telling you, you keep hanging out. Let me just tell you, you keep hanging out with old folks like me, and you'll always be the baby. And see, yeah. And I'm telling you, yeah, you get a lot from that. I'm just saying, you get a lot. You learn a lot, but you also, you be giving grace. Old folks will give you grace because you're a baby. But when you get to be old, young folks don't give you the same grace. Actually, young folks give me grace because I'm old. They'll go, oh. Oh, and they'll think, well, she is tech challenged. I am tech challenged. I just don't want to use it. It's not that I don't know how to use it, because I grew up using it, but it's like, and I'll tell my kids, yeah, I remember before we had cell phones. I remember my first bag phone. I remember before the internet. Yeah, yeah. I remember my first email. And then they give me grace for that. Because they know that I didn't grow up with it like they did. I had to learn how to do all this stuff as an adult, whereas they've been doing it since they was, well, kids. That part. So yeah, the young people, you stay young as long as you can, and the old folks will give you grace. And then you become old folks, and then the young folks will give you grace. And it's gonna be funny because your son is gonna act like you don't know nothing. You you ain't never been nowhere. You ain't never done nothing. You don't know nothing. He knows everything. You know nothing. That's how your son is gonna act. And you got to use that. Use that to your advantage. Because he gonna think he know a lot of things, but well, son, explain it to me. Go ahead. Since I don't know nothing, explain it to me. And it's like, well, explain it to me like you would to a kindergartner because I don't know nothing about that. And he'll start giving you grace. I'm telling you, like my kids give me grace right now. I'm like, baby, you're gonna have to tell me how to do that. You go ahead and show me how to do that because I don't think my phone does that. And they're like, oh, mama. But I'm telling all my secrets, so I'm gonna have to stop telling my secrets because now it's out here on the internet and people know that I take advantage of it, and I do, and you should always. You should always take advantage of it. Dad bought me a car battery, picking it up from Wally World tomorrow. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I know you said thank you, but you make sure you say thank you to your daddy, and make sure you tell him you love him. Say, I love you, Daddy. I'm that mama that would do anything for my kids. Um, they always be my kids, and I'm that mama that will do anything for them. I'm that mama that they talk about, who spoils their kids. That's why I had them. Well, I didn't have them, but that's why I got them. Because y'all know I didn't have my kids, right? Y'all do know that my kids are adopted. Don't tell nobody. It's a secret. But that's why I had them, to spoil them. I'm that mama. My kids gonna be spoiled. They're not gonna be rotten, but they're gonna be spoiled because I can do anything for those boys. But anyways, I gotta get up out of here. Y'all know I've been up here for almost 3 hours, just running my mouth. Like, well, I did drink tea, so there's that. There is that caffeine in my system. He had to jump my car 3 days ago. Yeah, I had a problem. I told y'all I had a problem with my car. Um, it wasn't the battery, but it was something else that drained the battery. And I had just put the battery in it new, and luckily, because I had just put the battery in it new, when they figure out what was draining it, I got a new battery. Well, I didn't have to pay for to replace the battery, but yeah. And then my husband got me this neat little thing that I can jump my battery with, a portable thing. It's a battery, but you can use it for other things too. Ooh. It has, you can plug stuff into it. It's just a portable battery, what it is. But you can also jump your car with it, and I love it. I thought I would never need it. And I almost took it back, and I'm glad I didn't. Because yeah, I needed it for a minute. But anyways, I need to get up out of here. Thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with me. Oh, I need to do some videos. But thanks for hanging out with me. We'll do this again. I'm not sure when, but I'll do this again for sure. Um, I may have, anyways, I appreciate y'all. Yeah. You making songs. You got to tell me about that, GT Junior. I have to go check out your page and see. That's nice. I just downloaded a thing to make songs, to make music on. So I'm probably gonna make some. I've got some poems I want to turn into songs and see what I can see what they sound like. But anyways, y'all have a good evening, have a good week, and I will see you in these YouTube streets. Let's see if you'll see me. Can you see me? All right. Bye now.